The next matchup, Tom, Cincinnati at Tennessee. What do you want in this matchup? Because it feels like this question marks over anything. I can't buy into Cincinnati's passing game with Joe Burrow under center. I can't buy into DeAndre Hopkins. We've already talked about Derrick Henry. Is this a matchup that you are just avoiding with a 41 over-under?
Well, because the Tennessee Titans are such a pass funnel defense, we know they're good against the run. That's probably been talked about to death at this point. But they're awful against the pass. There is some temptation to see if we can just lean into it from an efficiency point of view. The Bengals' offense has been miserable. They've only had 2 dropbacks from under center all season because they're so worried about Joe Burrow moving and his calf. And I think that's something which isn't going to change particularly quickly. Burrow ranks 36 out of 37 quarterbacks in yards per attempt. Only Bryce Young is worse at 4.7 and yards per attempt. But they are number 1 in neutral pass rate. They throw the ball. They keep the ball moving. We've seen Jamar Chase getting moved back into the slot more than he was. He had a 24% slot snap rate last week. Last year, he only had 4 games that high. So they know they need to get him involved. We've seen Joe Mixon getting far more work than he normally does. He's at a 51% route share, which is up from 40% last year. So I think you can possibly look at creative ways to kind of stack it, like, taking Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and hoping that Joe Mixon gets there through receiving work. But it's not a game to get too aggressive on because the Bengals are second last in points per drive, only ahead of the Jets. On the Titans side of things, they've only got 3 total touchdowns, which is the league's worst, even worse than the Jets. You look at the measures of offense, and it's always the Jets are right at the bottom. When you've got 3 total touchdowns through 3 games, that's atrocious. DeAndre Hopkins, he's not going to make explosive plays. We know that, but he sees 8.3 targets per game, so he can get there on volume. Derrick Henry, we've kind of mentioned it plenty through this show. We've not seen him be a top 12 running back so far, and he doesn't look particularly great. He's coming off the field. And Chigozie Okonkwo, he's not been a top 20 tight end so far. So what is it that we can get excited about on him? It's just, there's none of it right now. I think if you were looking to play this from a DFS point of view, I'd take 2 Bengals players in a lineup, and that would be it. I wouldn't touch anyone on the Titans side.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm still very excited, still very interested in Tyjae Spears. If you can go and get him in a redraft league and stash him on your bench, I think it is definitely a player that could be a league winner down the stretch because, as we were saying earlier, I'm not convinced that Derrick Henry is on the Titans come the end of the season.